Welcome to ATI Pro Media live at 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining us this morning. You guys don't want to look at your grain markets. Corn board is second lower. We got some red on the screen here today, but we'll keep it cheery as we can on a down day. Thanks for joining us here today, every day, live at 9 o'clock, talking grain and livestock markets. Got a surprise guest tomorrow. Make sure you tune in and join us tomorrow. We got the May WASD on Monday. We'll be going live 3 times on Monday, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and the post show at 1:30 after we get that May WASD. So make sure tune in Monday for all the info you need. Thanks for joining us. Let's go to your markets and check in on things where you're at here. So, all right. It looks a lot drier in this picture than it actually is out here in western Kansas. That was before we got the monsoon type rains the last couple of weeks, and we're so thankful for that moisture. It's a little soupy yesterday, but July corn's down 4.5 cents at 4.44 3/4. New crop D's corn is down 4 cents at 4.37. July beans are 5 cents firmer at 10.44. Nove new crop beans are 2 cents firmer at 10.24. Soy oil is catching a bid here this morning, 70 cents firmer at 48.04. Soy meal is $1.20 firmer at 296.20. Looking over at your wheat markets, we got July Chicago wheat down 2 3/4 at 531.5. July Kansas City wheat is down 2 3/4 at 526 3/4. Been rolling wheat options positions down here the last few weeks here with that slide. Looking at cotton market, we got D's cotton at 69.31, relatively unchanged here. Cotton's been all over the place, but not doing a whole lot, going everywhere and going nowhere at the same time. Looking over your meat markets, we got feeder cattle pushing higher. May feeders are up 95 points at 295.40. August is 299.65, up $1.05. Have we traded 3 yet? No, we have not yet, but hold on to your hat. Maybe we'll get there. Live cattle are up 37.5 points, 212.90 on the June. August at 208.82 half, up 45 points. Lean hog market is leaking a little lower. The June hogs are 97.075, down 0.250. Crude oil is $1.39 firmer at 59.47 a barrel, still below $60 a barrel. Diesel market is 4 cents firmer at 201. Nat gas is 2 cents firmer at 364. The Dow catching a little bid, up 198 points, 41,412. The S&P up 27 at 5,680. The NASDAQ is 137 points firmer at 20,100. The Russell's up as well. Bitcoin's 3,225 firmer, 99,880. Did you buy the dip on Bitcoin? We're back up, almost knocking on 100,000 there. Looking over at your gold market's 27 points weaker. Silver is down 11 points. The dollar catching a little bit as well, firmer, by 0.290 at 99.725. So, boy, it took me a while to get through those markets, but here we are. We're through them. All right, a couple headlines here. A lot going on today. I believe President Trump is doing some sort of press announcement while we speak regarding potentially a UK trade agreement. That's rumored what it was, full comprehensive type of deal. We'll see. I don't know if he's on the stage yet. Going to tune in and watch the recap here as soon as we get done with this show out of the gate. But other headline is Ukraine Parliament ratified the minerals deal with the United States. The vote was unanimous, all 338 members voting in favor of the deal. The agreement grants the U.S. preferential access to Ukraine minerals and paves a path for possible new military aid for Kyiv. Remember that I think with that deal, it made military aid from the U.S. Deductible from that minerals deal and sources of. So as we're in tax season or past tax season, it's always good to get those deductions out there. Stats Canada, we had some Stats Canada stuff released this morning. Flash those estimates and numbers up. We had wheat stocks down 1.2% versus a year ago. The bigger surprise was canola stocks down 38.7% year ago. As I look at these numbers, rye is one that sticks out, and had an interesting conversation with a customer yesterday about rye, using a lot of rye for cover crops. But rye stocks 55% above a year ago. And while the total number is not that significant for the total production, but that the percentage swing is. The conversation I was having with a customer was regarding cover crop changes and potential changes with subsidies, and being able to be incentivized to plant cover crops, and that had resulted in a significant decline in rye demand for seeding going forward. So keep your eyes posted. If you know something about that, leave us a comment. Tell us what you know regarding cover crops, regarding rye, and that market. Appreciate all insights, and start that conversation by posting a comment below. All right, positive news, and we love seeing these. We had some flash sales out this morning. We had 205,000 metric tons of corn going to Mexico. Chunk of it for old crop 24-25, but a significant portion, 165,000 of that 205, is actually new crop 25-26 purchases. So good to see both old crop and new crop demand going to Mexico. Had 115,000 metric tons of corn going to unknown destinations, and then 225,000 metric tons of beans to Pakistan. New crop beans 25-26. So note that as well. Good to see flash sales. We love seeing these. If you're over a certain quantity, you got a mandatory price report. You got to report these sales, and USDA drops them every morning, and at 8 if they are reported. So good to see those out there. It's Thursday, and that means export sales for the week. We had pretty solid corn and bean export sales. I'll post that graphic up there. Gonna enhance this so I can actually read what's on the screen there. 65.4 million bushels of corn reported there, well above that expected range. Beans in line, 'tis the season. Not huge bean demand from the U.S., but hey, 13.8 million bushels, we'll take it. Wheat, 2.6 old crop, 18.11 million bushels of new crop, above the 7 to 15 expected range. So good to see corn and wheat export sales for the week solid. Good to see that. Corn, the big takers were Japan, Taiwan, Southeast Asia type markets. U.S. wheat is more competitive globally. I got a graphic here to share with you that I just stole from commercial broker Paul Dubrovic. Highlights U.S. hard red winter wheat price discrepancy versus Russian values over the course of time. That's a long-term chart, but you can see that blue line's Russia FOB Russia values versus U.S. hard red winter wheat, the orange line, and narrowing that gap and starting to get a little bit of edge with that hard red winter wheat. So that's good to see U.S. wheat more competitive globally on the export front. Problems in the Black Sea, problems in Euro, and the monetary change with the U.S. dollar versus the Euro. I think the Euro is has gained 9% versus the U.S. dollar on the year. So that helps us competitively. So that's strong thing for wheat going forward. All right, it's also Thursday. We got the Drought Monitor too. I'm going to pop some graphics up, and we will dig into changes with weather, changes with moisture. All right, here we go. Let's look at the 1 week change on the left and the 4 week, 1 month change on the right. 1 week change, Nebraska, seeing some degradation in parts of Nebraska on the 1 week change, even on the 4 week change. Seeing on some improvements. When we look for improvements, we see that Texas area on the 1 week, and down there on the month change, a significant change in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, and even in your Dakotas on that 1 month change there. Here's a snapshot of the Drought Monitor. On the left is this week versus a year ago. That western high plains, keep your eye on that. That is a story that needs to be monitored, pay attention to. Specifically, when we look at Nebraska, this is a 30-day percent of normal precip, and Nebraska, a big hole out there. Northern edges of Kansas, the heart of Nebraska. Keep your eyes on that. They need some help up there. I got major backyarditis with the recent rainfall, and we're fortunate, but we realize that it doesn't always last forever, and Nebraska definitely needs some help here. So here's a interesting. This is looked at year-to-date precip, and this is York, Nebraska. We got 38% of normal precip in York, Nebraska. They've, according to the data, received just shy of 3 inches, with the annual rate this time of year being 7.5 inches. So well short of their annual rainfall. And here's a snapshot of Kearney, Nebraska. Similar boat, worse actually, 34% of normal annual rainfall for Kearney, Nebraska out there. So guys, keep thinking about Nebraska and send them some rainfall. And when we look at the extended forecast here, 8 to 14 day, looks like there's a little, better chances of moisture in a lot of the Corn Belt east, but we need that to drift lower and help out our friends in Nebraska there. So, yep, that'll be welcome. We got a nice planting window, and after we get that crop in the ground, let's turn those sprinklers on and let Mother Nature give it a good shower. So. All right, we also had the Fed watch yesterday. Fed rates change discussion with Jay Powell. Fed left the rates unchanged. Didn't change anything. Fewer rates going forward. Is that the sentiment? Yeah, we've seen a shift here, and I've got another graphic here for you. But we've seen a shift. This is looking at that CME Fed watch tool. We've seen a shift from the Fed watch tool looking for 4 to 5 cuts about a month ago. 3 to 4 cuts last week. And then after today's meeting, we've shifted that into 2 to 3 cuts anticipated going forward. And if you're bullish stock markets, more cuts frees up more cash and pushes that cash into other markets. So if you're bullish stocks, you're bullish other markets, you'd like to see some of those cuts to free up some of that cash and put it somewhere else. But the Fed's definitely taken a reactionary approach to analyzing economic data and a sit-on-hands approach versus going out there and getting aggressive with cuts. One notable change is 20% chance of a cut in June, their next meeting. A week ago, the Fed Watch tool had that at 55% chance to see a cut in their June meeting. So some significant changes looking at rates and the potential for cuts going forward. Going forward in your grain markets, strong export sales here today. Pretty good to see, but that's definitely offset by some favorable planting conditions and favorable growing conditions across much of the Corn Belt, aside from our friends in Nebraska that need some help there on some moisture. Monday's going to bring the WASDE report, May WASDE report. Buckle up. How bearish will the acreage number be on the corn front? How bearish will the yield number be on the corn front? How bearish will that carryout number be? Got a couple days to manage some risk going into that report. Join us tomorrow. Dr. Cruz is going to join us at 9 o'clock. We'll talk about South America. We'll talk about who knows what with Dr. Cruz, but we're going to get into his mind, and I look forward to having him on tomorrow's show. So with that, markets, as we kick you out of here, the East corn's down 3.5, 437. Hate to see that. New crop beans up 3 1/4 at 10.25. And your KC wheat, July wheat's down 1 3/4 at 5.27. So leaking weaker in your grains, trying to hang in there. We'll see what the rest of the week brings and what next week brings. Thanks for joining us today. With that, I'm out of here. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you